son returns.
It feels like so long.
It does. You sound very quiet.
Here.
Change your microphone.
There's the problem. There we go.
There he is.
It's turned down. How you doing?
You know how to turn it on.
Now I do.
Nice sweatshirt.
Thank you. I went out and did some clothes shopping and got this. I was like, I'm feeling this. It feels like my style.
You got this like Ernest Hemingway thing going on with the Herschel hat and the sweater. Like, I dig it. It looks good for you. Just don't go the way of Ernest Hemingway.
No.
Start and end at the look. That's it.
Oh.
Well, maybe some of the writing, but
yeah.
Happy 2023.
Happy 2023. Happy New Year. Before we get into recording, I have to tell you.
We're already a minute in, sir.
Oh, what the fuck? Are you kidding me? Oh, I just dropped into the recording. You son of a bitch.
Happy 2023.
Happy 2023. Okay. Holy shit. You fucked me, didn't you? Well, guess what I'm going to be smoking today?
Weed.
That is correct. I'm going to be smoking some homegrown. Look at that. Look at this giant bottle of homegrown I got for Christmas this year. That
looks like a freaking jar of lettuce.
Right. So this is from my brother's girlfriend's parents. They have been growing. They've been experimenting with growing some plants in their office, and they know that I'm, the kind of family stoner. So
the connoisseur of the
I'm
marijuana.
The connoisseur. I'm the one who's getting Spencer to build a Weed Heights. We unfortunately were not able to get as much done this holiday season as we were planning because of the terrible winter storm. It was so goddamn cold. We were freezing our asses off in the shop and, only could stand it for about an hour at a time. And so we got some okay stuff, but it's going to be much better to go back in April when we can open up the garage doors and actually, get some real quality, shots instead of just a bunch of close-ups. So
sounds like an excuse.
A little bit, but it's also, fuck it. It was the holidays. Who wants to fucking who wants to do that shit on the holidays?
Who wants to work in the holidays?
At least we had an excuse. It wasn't just like it's the holidays. Fuck it. This time it was like it's actually just really, really fucking cold.
Now the question is, because I know the audience is thinking it. All three people, maybe four, if we're lucky with the new year. Will we get a Weed Height before April?
Yes, they're actually planning on bringing it up to me in February.
February, all right. February is the new release date of the Weed Height.
Indeed.
Yeah. So we get the prototype in February, we approve the design in March, you make the video in April, and we release the thing on 4/20.
I think that sounds like a very good idea because I'm going to Hawaii on April 21st.
He's abandoning me, folks. I'm so heartbroken.
What? You don't think I'm gonna record from Hawaii? Because of course. Oh shit! Is weed illegal in Hawaii? Hold on. This is important. Hold on.
This is important information to know. Drunk thoughts and aloha opinions.
I guess it would just have to be. Yeah, exactly. That.
No, maybe that's the episode
thoughts.
where we swap. Maybe that's the one where you get drunk and I get high.
That can work. Is illegal for recreational use.
You better develop that glaucoma.
We're gonna have to do something about that. I'm gonna go Randy Marsh in the episode where he finds out that cocaine is illegal in the United States.
What a deep pull from South Park that I'm sure nobody's seen that episode. Thank you. Any more gems of pop culture you want to throw at us?
Oh, lots.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus Cristo. Well,
Speaking of gems,
so tell me more about this jar of fucking Brussels sprouts you got going on there.
So,
What's it called?
It doesn't have a name, as far as I know. It's just some homegrown. It's just some homegrown.
So there's your name, homegrown.
Yeah, it's just got the most lovely, simple smell to it. It's very mild. It's not very strong. I smoked some of my older stuff for pregame, so this is gonna be super like mellow shit. I'm really excited about that.
Sativa, indica, hybrid. What are we looking at?
I think it's
here?
a hybrid.
I think it's a hybrid. I mean, That's a safe bet.
That's usually the way to go. If you don't know, it's just a safe bet that it's a hybrid.
Yeah, who's gonna argue that? Like
Exactly.
It's a little bit of A, a little B.
So,
and it's all the THC. Hey-o.
Exactly. That's all we want. So, Corey, how was your holiday season?
I had a fantastic fucking holiday, Graham. I loved it. It was
I'll go on.
amazing. You need me to vamp while you put your joint together there?
I just want to hear about it. This is why we're here. We're talking. I want to hear how your holidays were.
It was awesome, man. I mean, yeah, we got hit with the winter storm here in the Midwest. My holidays started like a week, about the same time as yours, but I still had a little bit of work to do. But I the weekend before Christmas, I drove to Appleton and had Friendsgiving with my girlfriend Hannah and a bunch of her friends there in Appleton. I got to meet some of her friends, hang out with some of our mutual friends, drink some beers, play some games, just have a really good time. That was fun. Then Hannah came back here to Minneapolis with me and spent the week here with me, which was awesome, being able to come home to her every day while I went to work. But that was when the storm was kind of rolling in for us. So almost every day I came home a little early just to kind of get ahead of traffic, get ahead of shit. And we were planning on leaving Friday, whatever day that would have been, the 23rd.
Right.
But the weather looked really shitty, so I decided to do a half day Thursday, and we left Thursday, got to Appleton. Friday, we took the trip to Alpena, Michigan, which is in the northern part of the Lower Peninsula, about 40 minutes where I grew up, which is kind of cool. You know, we grew up pretty close to each other. We're almost like she and I speculate like at one point we probably may have crossed paths.
Oh, I'm sure.
Who knows? Small world type thing.
Yeah.
And so we got in and proceeded to just have a wonderful holiday. She's got a fantastic family, just super nice, super chill. The mom is very Midwestern loving, and fun. Dad just likes to sit back and, observe and chime in when he feels needed. But and her sister and her sister's fiance, just wonderful folks. Had a great time. We played card games. We drank way too much salted caramel whiskey. Like, her dad would just kind of like appear over my shoulder and be like, "Want to do a shot?" Like,
yes.
And for a shot, like but in full honesty, a shot for him was like we'd pour a shot glass and we'd sip it for like 15 minutes and then just keep refilling.
Oh no, that's not a shot.
it was in a shot glass, but we drank it. It was basically sipping a neat drink.
Right.
But it was great because we would just pass the bottle back and forth. Like, he's like, "I feel like I should eat something," and I just put the bottle in front of him and be like, "Here you go." He goes, "Well,
Are you trying to kill him?"
No, I'm just a horrible influence.
Yeah, you are. You are.
We brought a bottle of bourbon cream to the house, which is so there's like most people know Bailey's Irish cream. It's Irish whiskey cream liqueur. This is the same idea, but instead of Irish whiskey, it's bourbon.
Okay.
All right, you with me? You following me?
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
You smell what I'm stepping in?
Yeah, I smell what you're stepping in.
Oh, it's so smelly. Anyway, it smells so good. It's this bourbon cream. So I'd wake up and her mom would have coffee already made and be like, "Yeah, you want a cup?" And I go, "Yeah, let's do it. Sure thing." She goes, "What do you want in it? The cream, sugar?" I go, "No, I just drink it black." She goes, "No, nothing." I go, "Well, I do have this bourbon cream." And she goes, "Ooh, what's that?" And I go, "Let me go grab it." And I go grab, I put a little in my coffee. She takes a sip. She's like, "That's good." So basically every morning, like for the entire time I'm there, I'd walk in and be like, Irish up your coffee a little bit, boop, put a little burban cream in everybody's cups. And it was like, hey, man, it's vacation.
Yeah.
We had a good time.
Yeah.
So wonderful time spending time with those folks. Proceeded to go down to Grand Rapids for the Great Lakes Invitational and watch Michigan Tech get their asses handed to them by Western State University.
Very cool. I don't know what any of that means, but sure.
So Great Lakes Invitational is a single elimination 4-team hockey tournament. It's usually Michigan Tech and like 3 other hockey teams from the country, typically Michigan-based schools. So this year was Western Michigan University, Ferris State University, Michigan State, and Michigan Tech. So 4 Michigan schools.
Cool.
And it's just 4 games. Single elimination. Quick, fun little tournament. really, just a good time. And normally it's in Detroit, but this year they moved it to Grand Rapids, which is a much easier town to go to. A lot more art, a lot more walkability, just a shit ton of breweries. So good stuff. Yeah. If you've ever had Founders beer or New Holland, that's from Grand Rapids.
Okay, cool. Very
So
cool.
went and saw some hockey, which Michigan Tech was playing, and they had a pep band, so we brought our stripes and we stood with the band and hung out with those guys. Super fun, because both Hannah and I are, Michigan Tech pep banders. Got to see some folks I hadn't seen in like 10 years. I got to see some of my best friends. I got to see my buddy Derek. I got to see my buddy Derek and his family. Sadly, it was because his grandfather passed away, so we went to the funeral.
That's too bad.
It was pretty sad. But at the same time, it kind of afforded a good opportunity to be able to see his entire family, his sister's boyfriend, mom, dad, Derek's daughter. Everybody was in the same room. And I mean, this will bring a tear to your eye. I loved it so much. It almost made me cry. I walk in and I'm talking to the whole family, or I'm talking to Derek's dad. I'm talking to his sister. We're having a good conversation, and then I just hear out of the side of my head, my peripheral hearing, I hear his mom go, "Yep, hold on, I'll be there in 1 second. I'll be over there in 1 second. I gotta go. My other son just walked in. I gotta go give him a hug." And I was like, "Oh, I miss you, Mrs. Getz. You're so wonderful." So, got to see that the Getz clan, which was awesome. So that was really sweet. I got to see my buddy Terrence. I got to hang out with Nick. Just a fantastic fucking holiday, man. I went and saw The Fabelmans, the new movie directed by Steven Spielberg. That was really cool. Hannah and I went and saw that.
I heard it was very good.
It is a really well done film. I mean, you can expect nothing less from Spielberg.
Right.
But it's first of all, it's very pretty in that it's simple but effective. It used, if I had to guess, a lot of those white pearl mist filters, and just everything had a nice glow to it, nice sheen, just good color, very just good authentic feeling. Like it's hard to describe, but it just was very just good. You just felt good watching it, even though the story is very tumultuous. It's about a family. It's fiction based on fact of Spielberg's life. Mm-hmm. So it's this fictional family, but basically everything happening to this main character Sam is basically Steven Spielberg.
Yeah.
And it's, so it's about this family that keeps being uprooted because the dad keeps moving up in the computer electronic technology world. So they start in New Jersey, and then they up in Arizona, and then California. And the whole while, the family's sort of kind of falling apart because the mom is... So the dad is very science and data-driven, but the mom is very artistic. She's a concert pianist. And there's just not really clashing, but just difference of people.
That is lovely.
The weed?
Sorry, that weed is lovely.
Okay.
Good Lord.
You okay over there? You just need a cigarette or something? Need to change your shorts?
That's something.
This movie, so it follows the character Sam Fabelman, who's Steven Spielberg, as he kind of develops his passion for film and watches his family kind of get torn apart. And I gotta say, Michelle Williams and Paul Dano play the parents. And they are fantastic.
Right. Well, Paul Dano is just always incredible.
I've only seen him in 2 other movies. Swiss Army Man, which was just like a good movie, don't get me wrong. I'm not insulting it, but it's a what the fuck movie.
Which one?
Like Swiss Army Man.
Right.
Him and Daniel Radcliffe.
Love that movie.
It's good, but it's a what the fuck movie. It's like, what
it
the
is
fuck
a what the
am I
fuck
watching?
Movie. Yeah.
And then, of course...
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, it's, to put it more broadly, it's a what movie? But yeah, what the fuck is
it's
just an extension of that. Yeah. What?
Same idea.
And the other film?
Batman, as he plays the Riddler.
Right. So you've never seen the movie Little Miss Sunshine?
No, I have not. So
that's a very good movie.
Before we go down a pothole,
I think that you should watch that with Hannah. That's a really nice film. It has, I think, one of Steve Carell's greatest performances. It's one of Paul Dano's first performances, and Greg Kinnear and oh my god, I'm forgetting her name. The modern scream queen from Hereditary. Hold on. This is bugging me now.
Not Jamie Lee Curtis.
No, not Jamie Lee Curtis.
Her daughter? No, she's the daughter
Toni
of
Collette. Toni Collette.
Toni
Sorry.
Collette. Yes,
I was just
yes,
forgetting
yes.
her name. Yeah, Greg Kinnear and Toni Collette as the parents are absolutely wonderful, and Alan Alda. Alan Alda plays the grandfather. It's just an all around fantastic movie about
Singer.
what?
Alan Alda, most known for MASH, and I was trying to remember the character in MASH that he plays.
No,
in.
that's oh, sorry. Not Alan Alda. Sorry.
Pale.
Alan Arkin.
All right, who the fuck is Alan Arkin now?
You're not familiar with Alan Arkin? Have you seen the
Perhaps
Kaminsky Method on Netflix?
I have not.
Okay. Alan Arkin is kind of he's very similar in acting style to Alan Alda. So some people prefer one, some people prefer the other. I love both. They're both fantastic.
So he wears
actors.
a dress to try to get out of being in the service?
No. Alan Arkin, but like they both play specific kind of Jewish men, you know. they appeal to a certain kind of audience, which is older Jewish men. This is a fact. This is not going to. This is a fact.
I'm just trying to think like that. Really, that's. I mean, I guess that's a demographic niche for films, I suppose.
It's like
one could say.
Richard Kind would also fall into that category. It's not like they don't all have the same acting style, but they all appeal to the same audience, and that can tell you a lot about them.
Older Jewish men. Okay.
Yeah, older Jewish men.
All right,
Richard Kind, who was the guy who played the father of Jeff Goldblum in Independence Day.
See, and now he's in The Fabelmans.
That guy.
That guy, the guy who plays the Jeff Goldblum's dad from Independence Day,
right.
is in Fabelmans as the uncle. He comes by, has like 2 scenes.
Wonderful.
And basically smacks this kid around a little bit in a good way.
Judd Hirsch,
yes, thank you.
Love him.
He's got a brilliant scene in this movie. Same with in Fabelmans. Same with David Lynch. And I will say it's at the end of the movie, so
that's okay.
You have to sit through a 2.5-hour movie to see this one scene with David Lynch, but it's almost worth the price of admission.
Well,
right
Corey,
there.
speaking of having to sit through hours of excruciating film. Actually, you're not saying that this is excruciating, but I have had to sit through excruciating hours of film.
Saw Avatar.
I've been watching The Witcher Blood Origin.
Oh, never mind then.
Do you know
Before we go down that road, I need your assistance with something. Pause.
Of course.
So, as I left Alpina, the wonderful Kovalevskis were like, "Hey, we've got booze. Do you like booze?" I'm like, "Have you not seen me these past week and a half? Like, do you think this is a body built by keto? Fuck no. I love booze." And they gave me a giant ass bottle of brandy.
God bless.
Look how big this bottle is. This is like, it's a half gallon, I believe.
That's amazing.
That is awesome. So I'm going to pour myself a glass while you tell me about Witcher Blood Origins.
All right.
But I need your opinion. Oh, and for the record, I'm putting in my nice new brandy snifter.
Ooh, that is oh so gorgeous. Folks, if you're not looking at this on camera, then you're missing out. This is a beautiful, beautiful glass. Oh my God. I would drink from that.
I am. So, need your opinion. Rocks or no rocks? Typically, brandy is served neat. But
neat, always. I always go brandy neat. Yeah.
And you know how to pour a brandy snifter?
Yes.
Are you sure? No? You put it on its side.
That's what I just did.
You just hand motion pouring a drink. Like, that could have been anything.
Fuck you then. You don't understand my sign language. It's a very specific sign. It's not ASL.
I don't even understand that. So I don't even know. I'm defending myself on that.
It's GSL. It's Graham's sign language.
Christ. All right. So I'm going to pour myself a nice brandy snifter of this. The Christian Brothers brandy that the Kovalevskis gave me. I've had some. It is fantastic. And you tell me about Witcher Blood Origins.
So the only reason that I actually had the interest to watch this show, like usually I don't watch spin-offs. It's not something that I usually do. Unless I'll watch like an episode or something. But something drew me to this show, and that was a specific piece of casting, which was my favorite comedian, Dylan Moran, who has kind of been...
Oh my god, he's in Witcher?
He's in The Witcher Blood Origin, but he's...
Christ.
and originally, when they were first putting the show up, it was like, ooh, he's going to be like a role, like people are trying to figure out what it is. His character's name was... Ooh, that looks gorgeous. His character's name was Uthrock One Nut. And so everyone was like, oh my god, I bet that's going to be a big joke. I bet that's going to be a big joke for him. So when I looked on IMDb, it was showing the cast, and there were some cast members who were only listed as like a few episodes, like 1, 2 episodes. It was originally going to be 6 episodes, and then they shortened it to 4.
It's only a 4-episode show?
Yeah, it's only a 4-episode. It's a miniseries. Yeah. It could have just been a long movie.
How much are the episodes? How long are they?
Like 50 minutes.
All right. So
to an hour. It could have been a 4-hour movie.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, go ahead.
Anyway, so they on IMDb put Dylan Moran as being in 6 episodes. And then the series came out, and I was like hesitantly like looking to see if I wanted to watch, and it showed that all of a sudden he was only in 2 of the 4 episodes. And he was only in the second 2 episodes, so 3 and 4. It's like, so I have to watch 2 whole episodes of this show just to get to the part that I actually give a shit about. And then I watched the 3rd episode, and I was like halfway through, and I'm like, Where's my guy? I have been waiting this whole fucking time, and guess when he shows up? Right at the fucking last scene.
The post credits.
He's the last scene of the 3rd episode, and he has 2 lines. And one of them is when Michelle Yeoh introduces him as Uthrock One Nut, he says, "It's just a nickname. I have both of them. They're huge, like 2 swollen pomegranates." And then they walk away. I was like, perfect, that's what I wanted, but give me more. Don't just like cut it off there. What the fuck? And so we go into the 4th episode.
It's called the teaser.
They go into the 4th episode. 4th episode, they give us 1 line and then 1 very funny like cutaway of him just like clapping at something. I haven't seen the rest of the episode because I've been turning it on when I'm like, doing other stuff. But I was looking for more here. They could have done something here. I was really hoping that he would have been one of the 7 warriors, because that could have been so funny. But no, they decided to just, fuck that up. So anyway, the show is it's whatever. It's kind of it's the best shit I've ever seen. Like, it's really, really well made. It's really well shot. It has good special effects. But it's so fucking bland. Mm-hmm. There's no point to it. There's no heart. They want there to be heart. They want there to be heart. So there is like obviously heart there, but it's nothing of importance. So it's just kind of. It sinks into nothingness when you're watching it, and it's so hard to maintain interest in something where none of the characters are really that interesting or motivated to even do whatever the fuck they are trying to do.
I mean, it's about the beginnings of Kaer Morhen and like the Witchers, isn't it?
Nope. It's the first Witcher. It's the story of the first Witcher. That's it. It's not even about Kaer Morhen. Maybe if they at one point they were going to have it be about Kaer Morhen, but it's not. If it was anything about Kaer Morhen, it would have been at this point, unless they make it like the last 10 minutes of the 4th episode.
It's like the last scene, like, and we will call it Kaer Morhen.
Yeah, it's probably what will happen, and I will maybe break my TV and sue Netflix. I'm joking. But
I'm pretty sure Kaer Morhen was not always a Witcher school. If I remember reading the books correctly, it was something else, and then the Witchers just kind of took it.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I as you know, I haven't like read the books. I've just played the 3rd game extensively, so that's kind of my knowledge of the world. But the 3rd game, honestly, did a really good job of like telling a lot of the stories that were in the books through the side quests or versions of them. So if you've played the 3rd game and then you go back and you're like reading the stories, you're like, hey, I know this. I did this. And it works in reverse as well. When you've read the books and you start playing the 3rd game, you're like, "What? Hey, that's good. I love this. I'm doing the short story from the books." But it's just a side quest. And it's fun. I like that shit. Or like those little throwaway lines in like the books where they say, "Oh, back when you hunted this beast at the castle of Lothlorien," so they'll say like shit like that, and then in the game they'll have a quest that is like related to it, and you have to return and do and like
you actually
redo
do the hunt or whatever.
You do the hunt, or you redo it, or you honor the person that you helped to do it with in that short story, or the reference that they made. So like Witcher 3, that there's a reason Witcher 3 is such a fucking great game. Like they really loved they loved the book so much and paid so much homage to it. And my favorite quest of it is The Last Wish, which is where they find a way to even put a cap on that short story. So it's all great. I'm trying not to spoil too much shit, but because I know you are waiting to like play through the first 2 games and then get to 3, though.
No, I've said fuck it to the first 2 games, and I started playing the third one. I'm like 6 hours in, maybe. Like I've gotten past the tutorial, and I've just basically started exploring the world, and it's very good. I'm enjoying it.
Are you in the next gen upgrade version?
No, so this was like 4 or 5 months ago. I started it, and then when I heard they're doing a next gen upgrade, I stopped, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna wait.
Great idea
when they do that.
It is such an amazing thing that they've done with this. I am so happy with it. I've been replaying the game when I can, and I'm in love with it again. It's even better than I remember, obviously.
So I might delete my save and just start a new one or something and go from there.
Yeah.
But I'm excited. I'm excited that they're remaking the first game as more in the style of the third game.
Yeah, me too.
Because that first game is just so.
I've really tried with it.
Bad.
And I got to a point where I thought maybe if I put a little bit more time in, I could, but I just didn't feel worth it. So I'm
like
excited
the second area.
Yeah,
second or third area,
like that dark town.
Yeah, the town. Yeah, and it's like there's no way to navigate. There's no way to tell where the fuck I'm going, and it's like you got to do quests within quests within quests within quests that just seemingly are just. Like you just lose track of it, and it just and the combat is brutal. I do like one aspect of the combat is the combo technique where you have to click at a certain point, and it's not even a tempo. It's not it's click, 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 click. Like you have to tap the mouse at a certain time, and you do combos, which I was like, oh, that's engaging. I appreciate that. I like that idea. But then the rest of the combat, the camera's bad. Geralt looks like a fucking sewer rat.
So they've added so much in-depth stuff here. Like you can now lengthen how far the camera is away from you.
I'm talking about the first game.
Oh, right. Sorry for the first game. Yeah, sorry. I was thinking about...
Yeah, I know for the new one they've added a bunch of stuff.
That weed is good.
Honestly, I had no... Yeah, it must be good weed. I've had no qualms with the third game. I just was like, oh, well, if they're doing that, I might as well wait for that.
Yeah.
I've got other games I can play.
The third game definitely had a little jank. Like, it was a great game. It had that obvious, like, massive open world game jank. Just a little bit of it. And so... The thing about this upgrade that I find so nice is that the combat feels so much smoother. And... they've changed the way you use signs, so you don't have to like go and choose the wheel. They're all thick. You can change it in the settings to be on quick signing, so you just hold down R2 and then you can use a variety of the buttons to do whatever the signs you want to do, and it makes combat flow much faster. And it's like you learn it faster than using the toggle to go and locate your spell. You can learn how to do that fast, but this just makes it like so much more ideal.
That's a PS2 technique,
right?
The scroll wheel,
right? So I think that they've made a lot of great decisions, and I'm loving the game so far, and I'm still hesitant to give too much praise to CD Projekt after their debacle with 2077. They're making efforts to fix that, but that still happens, so that they've got a lot of work to do to kind of make up for.
Honestly, the only issue with 2077, the only issue is it came out too soon. That was it.
Yes.
Like if you can get over that small fact that they pumped out a game, they come on, man. You never got premature? Come on.
Sure. No.
Come
But
on, buddy.
what I'm talking about is the fact that not only was it pushed out before it needed to be, but that they were forcing their workers to work past reasonable times to crunch on a game that was still pushed out too early. That's my objection. So
every job has its overtime. I mean, you hear about crunch in every company nowadays. Like, I'm not saying it's right, but you can't get upset at CG Projekt Red because it's systemic overall as an industry. It's not just them. So I wouldn't. I don't know. Whatever. I can get over it pretty easily, and it's a good game. Like.
Yeah.
Cyberpunk 2077 is fun. And on the PS5, it's really fun because it takes advantage of the things like the pressure trigger and the graphics are astounding. And I've had like one bug, and it wasn't even that big of a bug. A dude walked through a table. Oh no, get over it. Like, everything else has been amazing. The combat's fun. The world is vibrant and colorful. The characters are interesting and well performed. Like, and I paid $10 for it, so fuck it.
That's fair. Yeah, I
got my money's worth.
When it goes down to $20, that's for all the scandals. That's how much I think I am willing to pay for it. I'm willing to pay for the game. I am willing to for them fixing their mistakes and putting out updates and apologizing and shit like that. I'm willing to pay them. But once they go down to what I think is a reasonable price, which is $20, but they keep putting it down to I don't think is reasonable, which is $25. I draw the line.
See, what'll happen is it'll go down to $20, but they're going to come out with that Game of the Year edition, which is like what this should have been at the original start.
Right.
And that'll be full price.
Right. Of course they will.
Like,
of course they fucking will.
Now that I will have umbrage with. That I think is kind of bullshit, where it's like, you can get the original, or you can get the Game of the Year edition with all the upgrades and maybe the DLC.
Maybe they won't. Think about this, because what they did with Witcher 3 and this next-gen upgrade. Though, there might be a reason that they did that, because it seems like the update was largely just taking stuff from mods.
And see, Witcher, they did come out with... there's The Witcher 3, Wild Hunt, then there was the 2 expansions, and then they also had Game of the Year editions and stuff, which is what I bought for $10.
Right.
When it came to Witcher, no, they're not above doing collections and Game of the Year editions.
Well, no, right. But that's yeah. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
What about you, man? I told you about my holiday. How was yours?
My holiday was really good, man. I was very productive. I was relaxing the entire time, but I was also very productive in terms of my relaxation. I wasn't just sitting in the same place.
So you were lazy as fuck. Is what you're
yes,
saying.
I was.
There you go.
But I
productive in my relaxation.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how I know you're a writer.
So I spent basically. Most of the first half of my vacation at my brother and his girlfriend's house. They have a lovely, lovely place, which I've told you a bit about before, and you've seen pictures. Lovely, lovely place. Got to spend time with them, just hang out. Me and Spencer dove deep into Final Fantasy VII in that universe. Fucked around with Dirge of Cerberus, and then played some Crisis Core Reunion, which is just released last month. Really enjoying that game. You
bought it on Switch, right?
I bought it on Switch. I'm really glad I did. It fits the Switch so well. If maybe they made it look good on PS5, this is not a game I would want to sit and play at the TV. This is a game I want to sit on the couch with a small screen and play. The combat fits perfectly for it. The missions are something that I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go take a shit. I'm going to take this and go play 4 missions, the missions are so fast.
Wait, you can do 4 missions in one shit?
Yeah.
These are really short missions, or that's
these
a long shit?
These are really short missions, man. They happen pretty fast. A minute.
Interesting. I don't know. I still think I might get on my PS5 just so I like to to kind of keep the 7
That's
story
fair.
centralized.
That's fair.
That said, I think the one exception would be Ever Crisis that's supposed to be coming out. I think if they did that on Switch, I'd probably buy that one.
Yeah, my problem with Ever Crisis is that it's going to have lots of microtransactions. Its Wikipedia page even says it's a mobile game with microtransactions.
But what, like, I think the microtransactions are going to be the additional games. I don't think it'll be, like, what are they going to do? Like, what can they do?
Well, they're probably going to make it be like, spend money and get materia, get, like, more powerful materia and stuff like that. Like, that's some of the implications that people have gotten from the trailers.
Okay, that's fine. That if people want to, because some people have played these games so much that they just don't give a shit anymore, and they know where all that materia is anyway. So it's like, fuck it. If they want to pay the extra money to get it, go for it. Like, that still doesn't. They're not paying to win per se. At least they are paying to win, but from a single player standpoint. So like, fuck it. Who cares? Like, if that's their prerogative. It's not mandatory,
right? But it will come down to how they market it. Are they aggressive? Are they trying to get people who are susceptible to stuff like that? Like, oh look, it's just $1.99. Yeah, and that's
look
where
at Avengers.
I have problems. Yeah, exactly. That's why I have
my thing is
going to
be if they come out with it and it's like Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, the main story or the first chapter is free, and then you have to buy the chapters after it.
That's probably what it's going to be, honestly. Look at the Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition.
Exactly.
That's probably what they're going to do.
Yeah, that's where I will come in and be like, all right, fuck that noise.
Yeah.
But if it's like, oh, you want to pay $2 and get a bunch of gil, or if you want to pay $5 and get the Phoenix materia early, without having to go to the mountain or something and play that god awful mini game.
Okay, yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine with. We've talked about this in the past, like the game Warframe. How they've done microtransactions. It's a completely free game. Everything that you can buy in the shop with real money is attainable in the game. It is just a lot of work. But it's also like it's not so much work that it's like, oh god, I could never do that. Like they make it seem like it's
hundreds upon thousands of hours.
It's realistic at the very least.
Yeah.
So that's how I want a free to play game to be. I'm okay with microtransactions in a free to play game, but my problem is that I don't think Ever Crisis is going to be. I think it's going to be you pay for the chapters, and then it's also going to have like enhancements and like pay money to get certain songs. Look what Sega was doing with the re-release of the Sonic games this last year, where they were charging you like, oh, here, $5 for the game, $5 for the soundtrack, $5 for the art in the background. I was like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Just sell me the fucking game. Yeah, it's like, you're stupid. Just sell me the goddamn game.
Let's be honest though. You'd pay an extra $5 to skip the whole reading the Chocobo bullshit to get Knights of the Round.
Actually, I kind of like that quest. I enjoy doing that quest. Fuck off.
It took so long.
I like doing that quest. Fuck off.
Oh, fuck that. I hate it. But if Ever Crisis is like at least a halfway decent game that isn't a money grubbing, soul sucking machine, Switch I think is the best place for that one.
Right.
Because it is the all-encompassing story versus Crisis Core is the prequel to 7, and they're even talking about how they've actually changed the story of that one to match with Remake.
Crisis Core Reunion was not that game has not changed in any way.
Not yet.
Not yet.
No.
But the game. Well, no. I read online that they people thought that was going to be a thing, but they did not change anything. But they might do something in future, like a sequel to Crisis Core, so to speak. That would be or Rebirth, and whatever the game after that is will have such strong connections to Crisis Core and whatever.
I mean,
because Crisis Core adds so much that was just not in the original game. So it's so easy for them to just say, "Oh yeah, this is like it's more connected to the remake universe than it is to the others." To the
so
original.
maybe they're not changing Crisis Core, but maybe they're changing Rebirth to tie in more.
Maybe. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, so instead of trying to tie it to Remake and some of the changes they're doing in Remake, they're going to make changes in Rebirth, such as like I think the character Angeal, I think is the character's name, who was like the original Buster Sword wielder.
Yeah, Angeal.
He's not mentioned in the original game whatsoever.
He's not mentioned in the original game, but he was also not only in Crisis Core. He was one of the characters in Dirge of Cerberus, which takes place
3 years after the original.
3 years after the original, around the time of. Actually, is Advent Children 1 year after the original game, or 3 years?
Advent Children is 2 years after the main game.
Yeah, so this is
Dirge of Cerberus is 3 years, so it's
and so
1 year after Advent Children. Yeah.
So
I played through that game in high school with my buddy Terrence. We like one-nighted the entire game.
Dirge of Cerberus.
Yeah,
it's so bad, but it's kind of a jank that I love.
It's not horrible. It's just like
it's not good.
Yeah, it's weird, but it wasn't bad.
It's not horrible. It's just not good. That's the way to put it.
It's a solid okay game.
Yeah. Anyway, we played a little bit of that. He actually has it on PS2. I'm actually thinking of getting it. I have my Steam Deck, which is kind of the perfect emulator machine, so I'm going to get PS2 games on there that aren't really
I was going to say, I don't think there's any other console it was on, surprisingly.
It wasn't. So I'm just going to use my Steam Deck for the thing that it will be best at, emulators, and get Dirge of Cerberus, amongst some other things. But I've been really enjoying Crisis Core, and what I was reading online kind of changed some of my theories about what's going on in the next game. Rebirth. Which is, so the 3 bosses at the end of Remake are apparently supposed to be the 3 brothers from Advent Children. It was confirmed by Square Enix.
Kadaj was one of them.
Yeah.
Then there was another one with like 3 letters on the name.
Exactly.
I used to know these guys.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah.
And so those 3 like prophecy or destiny like beasts, destiny gods that we fight at the end of Remake are supposed to be those brothers. And the theory is, well, my theory right now is I haven't heard anybody saying this, but my theory is that this is directly after Advent Children. I think Remake is taking place directly after Advent Children. I think that the Sephiroth that we are dealing with is that Sephiroth, the one that was reborn via the 3 brothers using Genova's head and blood to awaken him.
And then so after Cloud Omni slashes him to shit and he disappears in his wing, he goes back in time 2 years to start fucking with the reality of
into an alternate timeline. And this is where exactly. So he's in Remake and he's trying to fix it right as wrong. My brother said something interesting. I thought that I think that this is definitely not going to happen, but this would be a very interesting thing for them to do. Very Nomura for them to do is make Sephiroth a good guy in this trilogy. Like turn him into one of the heroes in Rebirth or the 3rd game. That would feel very Nomura. Look at all of Kingdom Hearts, where all the villains are also kind of good guys because you get to sympathize with them and you know their backstories. You know,
I could see. Yeah, I was gonna say I could see like a version of Sephiroth. So in this, here you go. Here's the theory. Here's the postulation. You ready for this?
Go ahead.
Load up your bowl. You're gonna want to load up another bowl for this.
Loading.
Load it up. Okay. So bear in mind, it's been a hot minute since I played the original 7.
Sure.
But if I remember correctly, in the original 7, you actually don't meet Sephiroth, like the actual Sephiroth.
You never meet him physically. His body is trapped.
In this core.
And in the final fight, you're fighting it inside Cloud's head. It's the final fight is only inside Cloud's head, and Sephiroth is just a figment of his imagination. He's trying to fight out the demon that is Sephiroth at play. No, that's the final fight.
Yes and no. It is in Cloud's head. You are right on that front, but it's not imaginary. Sephiroth is kind of like a virus. He became one with the planet,
right?
And using the cells of the alien Genova, he's like infected beings across the planet, along with the Mako. So like Cloud and Zack have Mako in them, so it's kind of a combination of the two. But so he's not so much imaginary, but he's like a virus that's in the mind, a virus of the mind. And so that final fight in 7 is Cloud expunging that virus from his body.
Yes, that's what I was saying.
But it's not imaginary. It's just it's more of a mental battle than a physical one.
Yes, that's what I was saying.
It still takes place. Like, it still is a physical thing. It's just mental. I don't know. I don't think it's imaginary. I don't think it's the right word. Let's put it that way.
Okay, no, we're on the same page here. It's that you're just not thinking of it as like completely unphysical. It is complete. No, he expunges something physical, but he does it completely non-physically. That's the thing. He does expel something that is physical within him.
He shits out Sephiroth from his brain.
Yeah, but even then, Sephiroth is not physically in there. Sephiroth has mentally grappled their brain, so it is not. There is nothing physical. He's just getting rid of the.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Not the point of.
That's not the point. Here. But yeah,
you don't actually meet the physical Sephiroth. Like you do see him. Like you see him stuck in the Mako after Cloud bitch slapped him in there. Years before the story started.
He never speaks physically in the.
No, it's all projections and like Genova cells manifesting themselves as Sephiroth
or past events.
Yeah, past things.
And if you play Crisis Core, you'll very quickly realize that like Sephiroth is really chill. He's really cool.
Yeah, well, that was the whole thing. He just goes nuts after he figures out that his mom was an alien.
Yeah, exactly. So I can totally see, I can absolutely see Sephiroth being turned into a good character in this remake trilogy.
So here's the theory. So, timeline of events. Sephiroth is chill, learns that his mom's an alien, goes nuts. Cloud bitch slaps him into the planet's core. Mm-hmm. Sephiroth becomes obsessed with taking over the planet by hurting it. So he uses metaphysical beings to hurt the planet so that he can absorb all the life stream and become a god. Cloud and party stop him. That's for 7, right?
Okay.
All right, you with me? All right.
Right.
2 years later, there are still beings out there that carry the cells. The 3 brothers, Kadaj being the leader, revive Sephiroth. Cloud has to bitch slap him once again, put him back in his place. Be like, no, you stay in my memories, you motherfucker. Puts him back. All right, now this is the beginning of your theory that Sephiroth from that timeline, we'll say that's timeline A, Alpha, Prime, whatever you want to call it. Sephiroth Prime goes into an alternate timeline, back in time, 2 years, to stop Cloud from everything. Like, he's like, all right, where is it? Where's the pivot point here of where things go wrong? And Sephiroth is at least what we're getting, what we're understanding is that's the pivot point is when Cloud meets Aerith. So he starts fucking with Cloud to try to stop that or try to stop the events from unfolding as they did because he lost, right? Mm-hmm. So we have Sephiroth Prime fucking with Beta Cloud, Beta Aerith, the Beta world, right? So to your theory, what if the Sephiroth Beta, the one that's trapped in the Mako, is like, yo, what are you doing in my timeline? Like, get fucked. This is my world. And that guy comes out of the Mako and becomes part of your party. Like, he comes forward and becomes the good guy somehow. I don't know how he comes back, but he comes forward in a manifestation of himself and is like, no, this is my planet. You lost. That's your fucking problem. This one's mine.
I don't think that that's quite what his reaction would be, but
But you
I like
get what I'm
I like
saying.
where your head's at.
That the
I like where your
beta,
head's
the
at.
Sephiroth of this timeline becomes a good guy to fight the
Yeah, I get
Sephiroth
you.
of the alternate timeline.
Yeah, I get you. I like where your head is at. I don't think it's gonna play out quite like that, but yes, I do think
I
that
was shooting from the hip on that.
I do
but
think that there
you
are
understand
going to
the
be.
idea.
It is going to be a two Sephiroth situation with the because like he's coming. If it is the one from Advent Children showing up and trying to influence shit, then definitely there is the one still stuck in Mako because that happened like 5 years ago in the timeline of remake.
I think 7.
Of the timeline of 7 is the
Because I think it was five
In
years
original.
before the events of 7 is when Cloud bitch slaps him into the Mako, and then 2 years for Advent Children.
Also, I have a theory. You know how everything seems to have the name Crisis in it? It's all related to Crisis. I think Crisis is the what the original game is eventually going to be called. I think they're gonna like if they ever re-release it, like
Which one?
or something like or Final Fantasy VII, the original game. I think if they ever do like a true remake or I don't know, they're gonna start
A pixel remaster.
Yeah, I don't know. They're gonna start referring to it as Original Crisis at some point. I think because I think everything after this has in some way is related to Crisis. You know, Crisis Core, Ever Crisis. There was like a phone game that they made a long time
Crisis
ago.
Core.
No.
That's the Critical Crisis, maybe?
One Crisis or something like that.
Yeah.
But like they've had lots of like things that
This
are
world
related
is a lot
to
of
crises.
crises.
Yeah, a lot of crises. But I think that the major crisis is the one from the original game. So I'm wondering if they're ever going to just call it like Final Fantasy Crisis. Or
I don't disagree with you that if they ever did do that they would be called. I just don't think they'll ever do that. I think
Fair
Ever
enough.
Crisis is going to be that.
Fair enough. Anyway, that was a long tangent. That was just a little tiny part of my vacation. That was probably like 3 days. But I had a lovely Christmas. First time that my brother and his girlfriend hosted. So it wasn't at my folks or anybody else's folks' place. It was just, at a nice, chill, medium place. And you look a little wobbly there, sir.
Some good brandy.
Some good brandy. That's good. It was a really lovely place to just chill, and the whole family and 2 dogs were there, just running around, having fun, and then the older people fucked off, and it was just me and my brother and his girlfriend, and we got to chill for another like 9 hours, just hanging out, watching movies, cracking peanuts.
What a colorful way to describe your parents. The old people fucked off.
They're never gonna hear this. They're literally never gonna hear
You could
this.
just be like, and then my parents left. No, the old people fucked off.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell them you said that.
I stand by it. Oh, they would laugh at that. They would laugh.
I have your address now. I sent you a Christmas card.
Yeah. You did.
No.
And
It was a nice fucking Christmas card.
It was a
too.
very nice Christmas card, and I liked it very much. And so
You did. Hannah designed it.
I bet she did. It looked like something that was not any of your work.
We collabed on it.
Fair.
She did most of the work. She was like, "Here's 10 options. Help me narrow it down." And
Fair enough.
and then I narrowed it down to 2, and I told her to flip a coin. So
Well, anyway, so yeah, after they left, we just chilled, had a nice chill evening on Christmas, and then I went back and stayed with my parents after Christmas for a few days. Celebrated my sister's birthday on the 29th, and then on the 30th, my very good friend from high school, Morgan, came and picked me up, and we had a lovely weekend just hanging out and doing, playing video games and stuff. Yeah. So, very lovely time. Got to hang out with a person I haven't seen since, 8 years ago. And that's always a fun time. So
that is always fun.
yeah. After that, I had a dentist appointment. That's the only reason. That was the only reason I stayed in on my vacation that long in the first place. Was that the only time I could get a dentist appointment at my place was on the 2nd. I was like, shit, I would have gone back before New Year's. But it worked out in the end. It worked out perfectly. So I just got back today after a wonderful long vacation, and my apartment was thankfully not broken into. That's always a good sign.
That is amazing. That is always nice.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Big dog. Big. So, with the onset of a new year, what is High Opinions New Year's resolution for 2023?
I am planning to put out by the end of this year at least a first or hopefully second draft of my book.
Okay, that's a good one.
I've also part of this, I'll go back a little bit, was something that comes back from just a few weeks ago during last year, when I realized that these books need to be shorter in terms of just like there can be more books, but they need to be shorter in length, each of them. So that's what I'm going to do. My plan is to put out a 350 to 400 page manuscript that I could hopefully send to publishers by the end of this year.
Or you can self-publish.
Or self-publish, but
that's nowadays not that hard to do.
No, it's you can do it with practically 3 clicks of a button. But I
have a friend who published a book in high school from Amazon. She did.
I want this.
I actually got to hang out with her this holiday. Look at that, tying it back.
Yeah, very cool. But I want to publish this properly.
You still can self-publish, and then it can get picked up and be reprinted by a publisher. So, point being,
that's fair.
Don't be afraid to pull the trigger and just get it out there, and then and go from there. Cast your rod into the pond and see what you can come up for some fish. But don't sit there playing with your bait.
I'm not playing with my bait. I'm playing with my beard.
No, I know you. You're a masturbator. It's okay.
How did you know? I hid it so well.
I mean, procrastination is like masturbation. Because in the end, it seems good at the time, but in the end, you're just fucking yourself. Sure. And that is the drunk thoughts of 2023, baby.
There you go. This is drunk thoughts of 2023.
So what else you got? You want to put out you want to put out some books? What else you got there?
Anyway? I plan on fucking graduating this year.
That's a good one. December, right?
December.
That is only 52 Drunk Thoughts and High Opinion 51 episodes of Drunk Thoughts and High Opinions away.
If we do it correctly, yes.
Oh, we always do it correctly, Graham.
Do we?
Even if it's wrong, it's still right.
Never. That's the grossest thing you've ever said to me. Never say those words. How dare you speak those words to me? Gross. Fuck you. Gross. God damn it.
This is good, Randy.
Yeah, I can tell.
Though I was like, I'm going to put this one on the rocks, and I have giant rocks now, like, one of those, like, ice molds that creates a big ice ball, and it's like... It's about the size of a baseball, and I feel like it's overkill for the amount of brandy I have in here. Because I only have like a sip of brandy, and it's a giant fucking ice cube. I'm like, all right, either I need smaller ice cubes or more brandy, and I can't decide which way to swing on this one.
I saw. It
is a school night, so
I saw a funny. I saw a fucking video where it was a compilation where somebody's like showing this drink is just straight bourbon, and they pour like a full glass, like a tall glass with bourbon, And they say, now this is something you just want if you're just having a rough time. And then it cuts and it shows who's the guy who runs the trailer park in Trailer Park Boys, and he's just like falling against the You've seen Trailer Park Boys, haven't you?
I've seen like 1 or 2 episodes and was like, this is fucking stupid. And
how dare you? That show's fucking classic.
I think I'd have a better appreciation for it now, but I just remember the time. Like, this is fucking stupid.
Right. If you like Letterkenny, Letterkenny does not exist without Trailer Park Boys. Very similar vibes, except Letterkenny's like maybe a little smarter. Well, okay, it's a lot smarter, but Trailer Park Boys is just fucking funny. Like they don't exist. Letterkenny doesn't exist without Trailer Park Boys, and that's just a fact.
Okay. So we got a book, we got graduation. You got any plans for after graduation, or are you just kind
of find a fucking job?
I fucking hope so. Fucking money bags.
Okay, you can put that attitude away, mister.
Can I?
Yes, you can. Yes,
we'll
you
see what
can.
happens in the beginning of 2024. When you get a fucking job, mister. And you learn how the real world works.
Well, okay. I know how the real world works.
This is how I
worked at a
picture it in my
grocery
head.
store for a
Did you ever
whole
watch
year.
that 70s show?
I did. I watched the whole thing.
So you remember the episode where Mila Kunis's character, Jackie, finally gets a job, and she's like, I got my first paycheck. And they're all excited for her. And then she goes, I don't know who this FICA bitch is, but she better not be taking my money.
So may I remind you that I did work at a grocery store for a year.
Yeah, that's nice.
Just saying. I do know how the real world works.
Uh-huh.
I do understand things. Yes, I am a privileged fucking asshole. I also understand the world is fucked.
All I heard was you're a privileged fucking asshole, and you heard it here first, folks, on Drunk Thoughts and High Opinions. He has admitted it.
I admit it freely. I'm a privileged fucking asshole. And I feel fucking bad about it all the time. This is why I smoke, folks.
I mean, if you're looking to like feel better and you want charity, I got bills. Just saying.
Send me your most reasonable bill.
They're not reasonable.
Then don't send them to me.
I was gonna say, you want to pay my VFS bill? It's $470 a month.
No, fuck you.
Car payment $350. Car insurance $125. Cell phone $150.
Yeah, I could just get like a recording booth for my office instead.
I mean, you could, but is that going to make you feel better on the inside, Graham?
Yeah.
Fair.
Material objects do make me feel better.
Yeah.
I'm a piece of shit.
No, you're just a material girl.
Yes. Treat yourself.
Treat yourself 2023. Doesn't quite roll off the song anymore.
Yeah,
2023.
2011 weirdly was the one that worked for that song. I think they if it was any other year, they would have had a different melody.
Well, and because they even like take out the first E, so it's like treat yourself 2011. It's just 11.
No, treat yourself 2011.
Yeah, 11. It's not 11. It's 11.
No, but that worked for that
yeah,
year.
I'm agreeing with you. I'm just why it works is what I'm trying to postulate here.
I don't know why, but it works.
Because it's
that's all.
Aziz Ansari and
Retta being fucking.
Retta just making it fucking beautiful. But treat yourself 2023 doesn't work.
No, it doesn't work. They'd have to change the melody, I think.
All right. Well, you have your homework for next Drunk Thoughts and High Opinions.
Fair enough. Anyway, yeah, I'm
you
a
better bust out that
bitch.
trombone.
Yes. I should play again.
Yes.
I should play more.
Yes.
I actually played like for approximately 3 minutes.
That's not
a few
even
weeks
a warm-up.
ago. It wasn't a warm up. No, I just picked up the
barely
trombone.
a scale.
I just picked up the trombone and played a little bit. weirdly could just pick up and play after like 3 years of not playing.
It's weird, but
Yeah.
you can do it.
Yeah.
I believe in you.
No, I literally did. No, that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
It was weird that I just did it.
But you can keep doing it.
I know.
Pick up the bone.
Just thinking about
That
it.
bone. Take a ride on the wild slide.
Maybe. We'll see.
I'm pretty sure that's not how a trombone sounds.
Oh, you can make it sound that way if you're good
What
enough.
was I watching? Hannah and I watching the New Year's Rockin' Eve or whatever they call it. You know, the where they bring in all the bands to play up until the ball drop in New York City, and they were showing
Sure.
clips of they had Fits and the Tantrums.
Okay.
I can make your hands clap.
Oh, right.
That song. Mm-hmm. And there's that whole like rhythm before that. Yeah. The person playing that rhythm live was on a Barry saxophone.
A+.
No, go listen to that again and tell me if that's a baritone saxophone, because I call bullshit.
Well,
I call shenanigans of the highest.
You've never heard a Barry
musical
sax play
order.
that high?
No, I have not. Because it's a low instrument.
Send the clip to me, and I will judge for myself, and I'll get back to you next episode.
I mean, you've heard the song. Just tell me if that's a baritone saxophone.
Fuck. Well, oh, God. I have to look it up. I haven't heard it in so long. I just know what song I'm talking about.
I don't get me wrong.
God
They did
damn it.
well. The song's catchy. It's a fun song for not being
I'm
ska.
not
Fuck
listening to
it.
this
But,
right
you
now.
know. But I was like,
Yeah.
I've never heard a baritone saxophone get that high. Like this sounds like a soprano sax.
It's
I
like,
could see maybe playing up the range of like a tenor and maybe like low note alto.
Right.
But this is like a soprano. This
Yeah.
sounds like a clarinet.
Yeah. It's like who's that fucking very famous saxophone player who's not actually very good at all?
Kenny G.
Kenny G. Thank you. I like how that's exactly all you need to say. Kenny G. That's what he always sounds like when he's playing. Have you ever seen him dancing on stage while he plays?
Yes.
And it doesn't actually look like he's blowing into the instrument at all.
No.
This man does not actually play the instrument, I don't think. I do not believe he plays the saxophone.
I believe he does,
No.
just not live.
I don't believe he plays the saxophone.
Yeah, fair.
I
That's
think
another
he
thing
is...
I loved about the Fabelmans. There's a scene with the trumpet, and it's a high school band, and the trumpet sounds atrocious. And it's on purpose, and it's amazing. Because it's
Great.
like, that is legitimate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like when they show just the horrendous fucking like
Quote unquote lip syncing on movies for instruments.
it hurts my soul.
Yeah, and that's
It's just
what this
bad
happened to me because
ADR.
I'm like, there's no way.
It's bad ADR.
It's not even ADR at that point. Wouldn't it be Foley?
Okay. Fair enough. It's bad sound design.
Who paid attention in class? This guy.
Yes.
Who
I'm
smoked
also
his way
high.
through film school? That guy.
Yes. That be me.
Yes.
That be me.
Yeah. I'm surprised you remember film school. How high you were.
Me too. It was a good time.
There
was a
was
good
classes. There was movies.
I remember
Somebody
almost all
yelled
of our
cut at
classes.
one point.
I remember
What?
most of what happened then. I loved it. I loved film school. What the fuck are you talking about?
I'm like racking my brain for something that would just blow your mind. Be like, we had a class on that?
I would remember all of it. Fuck you. My memory is pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good. Until I'm like, hey, did you do this? And you're like, oh, fuck, I forgot to.
Yeah, that's the thing is my mind is a steel trap for anything that isn't a task. I'm aware of this. It's a problem. I'm working on it.
So guess what you're getting for a belated Christmas present?
Planner.
A planner. Good
Yeah.
on you.
Yeah,
I'm
I
surprised the
have
school
one.
doesn't- oh, no.
I have
Yeah.
one. It's here somewhere.
It's going to say like 2002 on it, isn't it?
No, I actually just bought a new one for 2023.
And you remember my planner?
Yeah. Because you're
Planners.
a psychopath.
Or, organized.
Psychopath.
Same difference.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with psychopath. Nobody's that nobody should be that organized.
Oh, trust me, in my head it's much more meticulous. Just like it's much more chaotic in your brain.
It's more organized.
So your brain is all just like your brain looks like the Farum Azula from Elden Ring, where it's just like a fucking thunderstorm of shit.
Yes.
Yeah. My brain is the end. My brain, it's the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark. Where it's just a warehouse where it looks organized, but you're like, holy shit.
Excuse me, sir?
Yeah.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
You are not that organized. I know you. You are not that organized.
Do you?
When you said I was gonna believe you when you said I'm the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark, where it's the explosion and the wind is going around like that, because at least that looks a little more organized than Farum Azula.
Not really, because it melts people's faces.
That doesn't matter. I was talking about the rotation of the wind, motherfucker.
No. I'm organized. It's all in there. I am.
Well, jeez. You've blown my mind, sir. Sorry, I'm very high. This is good.
You only smoked like 2 bowls.
This is really good weed, man.
I've had like 3 beers, 2 snifters of whiskey or brandy, and like I had 2 beers at pregame too.
I'm also very tired, man. I drove fucking 4 hours today, sitting in the car for nearly 6.
Yes. I drove 4.5 hours last night and didn't get in until 12:30 a.m., going to sleep at 1:30 a.m., getting up at 6:30 a.m. for my job, worked a full day of work editing videos, looking through a warehouse for God knows what, driving home in a full-on blizzard with 5 feet of snow on the fucking ground.
See? Yeah, same thing.
Get fucked. Oh, did I mention for my holidays? I did a mileage counter. 2,265 miles driven for the holidays.
Ooh.
In total. So, yeah.
Oh, right.
Your piddly
sir.
ass 6 hours in a car mean nothing to me.
Oh. You drove so far.
Why are you rubbing your nipples?
It's my second South Park reference of the episode.
Yeah, you should have realized in the first one it's not going to work.
I'm so sorry.
That's what she said. Hey-oh.
Feel like
Would you like to know my New Year's resolutions, or are you just going to be a dick?
I felt like you were just gonna tell me eventually. I was hoping you would just fucking go. I'm high, man.
Way to segue. Ernest Hemingway with the segue.
You could have spent all that time instead of berating me. You could have just gone.
But see, berating you is like half this podcast. If I don't berate you, we're gonna be here for like 5 minutes. And be like, hey, did you play a video game? Yeah, I played a video game. Tell me about that video game. It's a good game. Cool, great, thanks. End of episode.
I feel like it would be at least 40 minutes, but whatever.
Okay, fine. 40 minutes with like 35 minutes of cuddling, though.
Excuse me?
Oh, sorry. That's usually what I tell Hannah. My bad.
Oh, my good lord. I need a fucking drink. Good lord, man. You are the reason.
You exhaust me.
You exhaust me, mentally and physically.
What about emotionally?
I think that was implied by the mentally, but yeah, emotionally.
Trifecta.
Good lord, man.
I get the hat trick every week.
We need to let the listeners go before they murder us, before they send out a hit squad, and I'm sure they'll do it for free.
I mean, if they're smart, they won't. Because remember what the Joker said: if you're good at something, never do it for free. Dark Knight, Chris Nolan, 2008.
Yes.
Heath Ledger.
Yes.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Let's take a moment to talk about Chris Nolan.
We're a $1:15 in. You really want to go down that rabbit hole? We'll be here another goddamn 45 minutes if we want to talk Chris Nolan.
Yeah, do you really want me to go off and start bitching about Chris Nolan right now?
No, because I respect Chris Nolan. Get fucked. He makes great fucking movies.
He makes great movies. He writes terrible movies.
You write terrible movies.
Yes.
So but I
haven't made like $500 million budget films yet, you know?
I love the optimism that you think you will eventually.
Yeah, of course. Gotta stay optimistic.
All right. You have until I finish this Guinness to tell me about Chris Nolan.
I think that Chris Nolan is a really good director. I think he's an awful writer. Here is why. Every single movie he has ever done, and this is not like it's his style. It's just a trope he does in his films. No. This is bad writing. Every single movie he has ever written always has a scene where the two of the characters just sit down and explain everything that is happening to each other, or one explains it to the other, or blah 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 blah. But it's usually two of them explaining shit to each other that wasn't that each other did not know before, and now the audience is completely filled in. And it usually goes for approximately 9 hours.
No, it's usually pretty quick.
No, it's never quick.
Defense, it is pretty quick. Like, I mean, Leonardo DiCaprio explaining to Elliot Page now the concept of Inception.
Is a 9-minute scene, and then the scene where he is explaining excuse me, the scene where he is explaining to that guy in the bar. He's explaining. He's talking.
But see, that's a plot point. That's not so much
15-minute scene. No, that's a 15-minute scene where he explains a lot of what is going on through the story. But it's mostly just exposition, and that is 15 minutes long. Tie that in with the
24 minutes total. Yes. But of exposition in a 2.5-hour movie.
These are tropes. These are tropes that he does. Look at Tenet.
All right.
Look at Tenet.
I was going to bring up Tenet next because I love that. So this is your beef with Chris Nolan movies. Tenet is hysterical because they do have like a 5-minute scene where they try to explain.
And then the music is fucking blasting over it.
Oh, it's Hans Zimmer. It's a fantastic score. Fuck you. But I love that Tenet. They have a scene that tries to do an expo dump, and at the end of it, the girl literally goes, "You know what? Don't try to think about it too hard. Just go with it."
Except for the fact that you still can't stop trying to think about it.
Oh no! But it's like. But he gives you the instruction manual in the movie, and this one just kind of ended with this page intentionally left blank.
Yeah.
And you're just like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And you have to roll with it. You and I obviously have very different thoughts and opinions on things, hence the fucking show. But I loved that of Tenet because I loved Nolan, that his movies stick with you, that you think about them afterwards, that you're not done with the movie after you've done seen it. Like Fabelman's, I'll rave about it because I thought it was a good movie, and I'll tell you about it, I'll tell my friends about it, but I'm not really thinking about it much anymore in terms of the filmmaking aspect or anything. It's pretty much done. I'm just like, all right, it's a good movie. But Inception, I remember watching that for the first time, and I'm like, wait, what the fuck did I just watch? And I rewatched it. And then I was like, what the fuck did I just watch? And I rewatched it. And I've done it 20 times since, where I'm like, and I'm obviously I've understood it a lot more now, but I'm still just fascinated that every time I watch it, I pick up on a little more of a nuance of the film, like of the subtle filmmaking that Nolan does.
Right.
He's got the in-your-face exposition, but then there's the subtle tricks that he does that are just really neat. Mm-hmm. And you just appreciate that film for just the thought that it was put into it. And Tenet, too. I've watched Tenet like 2 or 3 times now, and I'm guaranteed to watch it more. I bought the movie because I want to watch it more, and I want to watch the special features because it's just like there's more to this movie that's on the surface, and I want to figure it out. Like, just like any of his movies, they're puzzles. They're unique. They're a maze. And it takes a couple of tries to get through that maze to really figure out what the fuck is going on. Yeah. And again, sometimes he gives you the instruction manual, but Tenet, he was like, you know what? Fuck it.
Just don't think about it.
This is what's happening.
Yeah.
We reverse the entropy of time, and things move backwards. We're not going to tell you how or why or what, when or whatever. Who gives a shit? Just go with it. Fuck it. And you're like, all right, fuck it.
Yeah.
Robert Pattinson, like, he's not bad.
I think that
we're not even going to name the fucking character. Tenet doesn't name
Again,
the guy, John Washington.
Lazy.
He's just the protagonist.
I think that Chris Nolan is, in a way, a very lazy writer. Where instead of taking the time to try and do the story that fits the concept best, you gotta make the story match the concept and help it do justice, because if you have a really good concept, you don't want to waste that. And for me, Tenet is a little bit wasted because the story could have been so much more interesting with this concept. Instead of just a classic this guy's trying to take over the world. That could have been such a much more interesting concept or story for the concept, and I don't feel like they did it
the
justice.
guy was trying to destroy it.
What?
Because if the story played out without the intervention, it would have stopped time altogether, and the world would have been destroyed.
Well, okay, right. Destroy, take over the world, doesn't matter. It's a classic villain trope. They just want to
Right. I mean, if you want that, to go watch a Bond movie.
But what I'm saying is that this was a very unique concept that it didn't feel like they completely did justice to what they could have done with it. This is such a specific and unique idea, reversing entropy, making time run backwards, literally things that have happened, it's just going backwards. They could have done something way more interesting with that than they actually did. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was too basic. It was just a very basic story for the fact that it was so cool.
The conflict itself is very, the movie's attraction is more in the special effects and the idea behind it versus the execution of the story. Right. That makes sense.
Right.
Now, what about
at least Interstellar? At least Interstellar was that made sense. That was it's a rescue mission. That makes sense. We're going to do these concepts for a rescue mission.
I was just about to ask about Interstellar. You literally read my mind there.
Yeah, because they do much more than just a rescue mission. They use the concepts well, based around a simple concept, the simple rescue mission concept. Whereas they didn't quite do that with Tenet. They missed out on the opportunities to really make it more interesting, in my opinion. It was just mostly about the fighting and the look how this bullet goes through the wall and through a person that. It felt like it was more about the action and stuff, and I was they could have. I wanted to see what his mind could do, because I don't know. The only thing, this is a new concept to me. It's pretty cool. I wanted to see where else it could go, but it felt very it's just kind of an action movie.
Shallow.
Yeah, it felt kind of shallow.
Sure.
So yeah. Interstellar, I kind of holds. Interstellar and Inception are both really good movies in terms of they actually do something with the concept. At the very least, I still don't like the expo dumps, but that's just a personal thing. I think his best movie is still Memento.
I need to watch that. I bought it.
Yeah.
I just haven't watched it yet.
It's dark. It's just a dark movie, but
I
it's
feel
also.
I gotta be in a certain mood for it, and I just haven't every time I get around to that movie, I just forget that I own it because I wouldn't bought it for like $2 at a used movie store.
Right.
So it's on the list. I will watch it. And I might even watch Prestige.
That's a good movie.
Again,
That's a
I
good
own
movie.
that one too, and I remember that one. I liked that one. I remember when it first came out, and like that one was almost like an M. Night Shyamalan movie where it was really all about the twist at the end.
Yeah. I'm forgetting what the twist is. Fuck.
Would you like me to spoil it for you?
Yeah, go ahead. I've seen the movie like 3 times.
So the whole thing is about Hugh Jackman and Christian Bale going back and forth as old-timey magicians.
Right.
And their big trick is the teleporting door, where they go in one door on one side of the stage and they come out the other side of the door like with a bouncing ball or a ball in the air. Well, you find out in the end that Christian Bale was actually twins.
Right.
That he had a twin brother that was helping him with the trick. But Hugh Jackman's character worked with Nikola Tesla and was like legitimately cloning himself. And then every time he did a show, he killed himself. He had to kill the clone.
Right.
And you want to talk about dark. Holy
That's
shit.
very dark, yeah. I mean, Chris Nolan's always been quite dark in his storytelling.
I wouldn't call it dark. I'd call it more macabre, maybe.
Bleak.
Yeah, that's a good word for it. Bleak. But I haven't seen
He
Mementos,
is not
so
he's not really an optimistic person, I don't think.
No, I mean, I
None of
watched
his
a clip
films
from...
are... The only film he's ever done that was like even lightly optimistic was Interstellar, and even that film was like
no, because like so I'm actually going to disagree with you there because I watched a clip today. I watched the clip where it's McConaughey after the planet that he spends like 25 years on, even though it was like 25 seconds for him. And then there's that clip where he, whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then he goes back to the computer and watches like all the video messages that his family sent him over the last 25 years that he missed.
That's a good
and it's
scene.
just a brutal scene. And you really start like, I don't know. I was watching it today and I was thinking about that. And I'm like, this dude literally abandoned his family for a lifetime.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we got to see from McConaughey's side, so it wasn't all that bad, or like it didn't seem all that bad at the time. But like, think about Casey Affleck and Jennifer Chastain's characters of how like their dad just up and left for their entire lives. And yeah, it ends on like a positive note, like, oh, they saved humanity, great. But like, think about Murph and how like that girl,
she gets
had to live her life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it's pretty fucking dark from their standpoint.
Yeah, it is. I'm glad you agree.
So I was like, I don't know. I just, every time I watch that movie, I'm like,
that's
just crazy. Like, and you know, like imagine living on that planet as bleak as it is in the beginning. They had to live there for another like 70 or whatever years, 60, 70 years until Murph figured out, what future McConaughey was telling her.
40
and
years,
they got
30 years.
30, whatever, you know what I mean? Like, and we got clips of it, but it still is just like, this dude just like up and left. And granted, yeah, he's trying to do a good thing, but it's still really bleak and dark and just kind of like, I don't want to say selfish, but it just, can you imagine that?
No.
Yeah,
it's fucked up. And that's kind of what I'm saying with like when I say like Chris Nolan does not seem like he's a very I don't want to say he's not a good person. I'm just going to say he's not a very optimistic person. Because I can't say that he's not good. You don't have to be optimistic to be good. But I just don't get the sense that he's a very optimistic individual.
He's a glass half empty kind of guy.
Yeah,
I could see that.
Most of his films are, as we said earlier, bleak. They're incredibly bleak.
I mean, honestly, you want to talk about optimism in his movies. Inception is probably the most like optimistic ending.
Maybe.
Because
the implication is that he went into a dream to spend eternity with his children and will forget that he's in that dream.
Well, no, they've come out and said that last scene is the real world.
Have they come out and said that?
Well, Michael Caine did.
Yeah, but that's also like
Michael Caine.
I love Michael Caine, but he's an old guy. Nobody
Michael
else has
Caine
said
came
he's
out
just
and
one of the
said,
actors.
when I sat down with Nolan and we talked about this film and he wanted me to play this role, he said to me, every scene you're in is the real world. So you don't have to worry about this dream world bullshit.
Okay.
And that's when he, agreed to do it. And Michael Caine is in that last scene delivering Cobb to his family.
Okay, fair.
So it's implied that it's the real world. And let me rephrase this. It's optimistically implied it's the real world.
Sure.
Because that top does waver ever so slightly. So I think just in terms of if you're put in Nolan, if you're gonna have your categories Nolan as an optimist or a pessimist, yeah, he's a pessimist, but his films, I think Inception probably has the most optimistic ending.
That's fair. I'll take that. Yeah, he does not usually
unless
do.
you also want to talk the Batman trilogy, which there's questions of whether or not it's a fucking figment of Alfred's imagination if he sees Bruce.
Yeah, I'm willing to accept that as well because it's an atomic bomb he took so far away. There's literally no way he could have. Never mind. That's another rabbit hole.
I told you we were at $1.15. We're gonna be on this for a while.
This is not a fucking topic I have energy for right now. Anyway, yeah, Nolan's bleak. He's like Tarantino for me. He's better than Tarantino. At least he has a few more interesting concepts going for him. But they're both quite bleak for me. So I prefer some optimism in my films. Thank you very much.
Which is surprising considering your personality.
Well, what the fuck is that supposed to mean?
And you'll learn next week on Drunk Thoughts and High Opinions. There's a cliffhanger for you.
You can find me at mad-musings.com. My short stories, my shorter stories, photographs, scenes from plays, poetry, the works, all there.
Where's the photography? I thought you were going to add photography.
I did the photography is with the shorter stories.
Is it? Is it really?
That's where
Lake
it's
in Winter.
Yes.
That's photoshopped.
No, it's not.
The space between.
Which
that's photoshopped.
No, neither of them are photoshopped. Haha. Very proud of it.
Space between is a good photo. That's interesting.
It's upside down.
Well, the good news is, folks, his website does work.
It does work indeed. You can find it at mad-musings.com. Corey, where can we find you?
The bottom of this Guinness bottle.
Good. I want you
or
good
brandy.
And drunk, you piece of shit.
Fuck you. I can be found on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, while it still exists, at RoxyBoy, ROKESYBOY. And my website is there. Feel free to check it out on all those. You can find it in my profiles on any of those pages. Not really up to much. Same old shit, different day. Same shirt, different day. Maybe I should do laundry.
Yep.
But, yeah, good things coming, though. We'll see what happens.
All right.
Just posted a nice photo on Facebook, or a series of photos of my wonderful holiday adventures with my girlfriend and her and my friends and everybody I got to see. So we got to drink a glitter beer.
Gross.
Oh, go check out the photo.
No.
It's.
I'm joking. I will.
First of all, it was a beer called Unicorn Farts. It was a porter, I think, or a stout, one of those dark beers. Hold on, I can look this up. So we, one of the things Hannah and I enjoy doing is finding craft beers to try and enjoy. Yeah, it was a stout, a chocolate cinnamon crunch breakfast stout called Unicorn Farts from DeClaw in Baltimore, Maryland. But so Hannah and I enjoy finding unique brews, and we bought 2 6-packs of unique brews, including what I've been drinking tonight. And we buy this one because we thought it looked funny because we both like the dark beers. And she comes, I'm in the back room, which is our bedroom at her parents' house, and she comes running back, Corey, you gotta check this out. And I'm like, all right, who fucking died? And she comes running at me with the can. This beer has glitter in it, and Hannah is all about sparkles and shines and stuff. I mean, I gave her jewelry for Christmas, and I don't think she has stopped wearing it. Like, it's amazing.
Yeah.
So we had a stout beer with gold glitter in it.
Great.
It was amazing.
Great. Love that.
You ever drink Goldschlager?
Yes.
Got the gold flakes in it?
Right.
So no judgment.
Fair enough.
All right.
Fair enough. With that,
sign off.
We sign off, folks. Handle your high. Don't drink that extra drink when you think you've had enough, but always smoke that extra bowl.
No, I can fully attest to not doing that. I might remind you the dab story where we smoked the extra dab bowl, and it did not work out for anyone.
But I was fine.
No, you weren't. You stumbled home too. I almost punched a kid. It was a bad night. We don't talk about that.
Okay, if you're like Corey, don't smoke that extra dab.
Do not.
Don't do it.
Conjunctions.
Handle your intoxicants, folks. And with that,
handle your high. Have a good time.
Say good night.
Know your limits. Don't drive, and enjoy it.
And with that, we say good night.
And listen to Drunk Thoughts and High Opinions, which is this show.
Yes. We are plugging ourselves as we speak.
Plug.
Plug it away. Ooh.
Plug it away. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.